They shoot the three exceptionally well. They're third in the nation. Look at him. Is he intense? Is he all fired up? He knows they got a battle on their hands today. Nobody's been close to them. And their wins have been double figures. Bob, he's all fired up. Are you fired up? I'm fired up.
I'd be fired up if I won 11 in a row by double figures. And this season had not had a game where I had been really even challenged, but we expect a challenge today from a Texas Tech team where Chris Beard has built an undeniable culture in Lubbock. Dick, these players buy in. DJ Shannon forces it up. Offensive foul.
Shannon's been big for them coming off the bench. He's been so explosive. He's really a pro talent. He has ability at 6'5.5", 6'6". He can score, can be explosive, and he's averaging like 13 a game. He's really a starter. He's not really a guy coming off the bench.
There are 4 matchups today in college basketball, ranked versus ranked. But none of the matchups have 2 teams collectively ranked higher than number 2 and number 15. So you can certainly make an argument in college basketball. This is the premier matchup of the day and a very difficult road test for a Baylor team coming off of win after win after win against a Texas Tech team that had a terrific road victory at the buzzer when Mac McClung beat Texas the other night. High off the window, Maceo Teague gives the Bears the lead.
You know, you look at Teague, Mitchell, they're so effective. They take good shots. Flagler coming off the bench is certainly a guy that can shoot the three. That's a really well-rounded basketball team, offensively and defensively. Ranked in the top 4 by Ken Pomeroy in terms of efficiency, both offensively and defensively.
TJ Shannon got an extra look and couldn't knock it down.
You know, a lot of people don't associate Baylor with shooting the three. They're only 3rd in the nation, Bob. 3rd in the nation shooting the three in terms of field goal percentage. Shooting better than 42% from the three. They make 10.5 a game. So if you're Texas Tech, you got to contain the three ball. If you're Scott Drew, you got to keep them off the free throw line because they get to that line. And not only get to the line, they get people in foul trouble. Look at those numbers right there. Score margin, 27. Wow, incredible. He's done an amazing job. When he took over that program, it was the depths of despair, and he has been such a consistent winner, Scott Drew.
Mitchell sets up Teague, and the rebound to Kyler Edwards. He's going to push.
He can shoot the three, Edwards. They got to get Butler going. They got to need a big game out of Butler. He had a big game against Texas.
Edwards comes up short. Run down in the corner by Adam Flagler. Davion Mitchell has dribbled it out of bounds.
Well, good defense. They rotated over, gave help, closed off the driving angle. Terrific team defense there.
So an early 2-point lead for Baylor. ESPN. Welcome back to Celebrity Row in Lubbock. Cardboard cutouts. You can have whatever celebrities you'd like. And they've got some big ones that have shown up in today's game. Very impressive.
Yeah, really impressive role. I saw Dolly up there. Hey, Willie's in town.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson. Yeah.
And that's probably, if there were going to be a short list of who's going to have dinner at J-Lo's house, Dick Vitale, I think, would probably at this point, you'd be on that short list.
Well, A-Rod's got to invite me there. Come on, A-Rod, invite me down there. I don't want to meet you. I want to meet J-Lo. Hey, right now in this game, defense is going to be prevalent. Jared Butler had 26. They got to control him against TCU. He's a dynamite player. He's a guy that can shoot the three, he can attack the rim, and he's a key player when you look at that Baylor lineup.
Santos Silva looks diagonal. Jamarius Burton gets caught along the baseline. Good catch by McClung, but he's out of bounds.
Yeah, you got to know the landscape. You got to know where the court is. Not a good play. Former Georgetown Hoya transferred. He and along with the young guys playing down in Arizona, Quino. Both guys were double-figure scorers, and they left the Hoya program. And that's really, you know, been a plus certainly for Arizona and a plus for when you look right now in this situation with Texas Tech. They're happy to have him. They say he's a fierce competitor, makes free throws. I think he only missed 1 of 13 against Texas.
And Mac McClung averaged 15.7 points per game last year for Georgetown, 15.8 points per game this year for Texas Tech. So very consistent. And speaking of consistent, Adam Flagler averages a couple of threes a game. He's in the top 10 in the Big 12 shooting the three.
Well, he's a double-figure scorer, and he's a guy that came out of Presbyterian, transfer, went mid-major, high major, got an opportunity, he's taken advantage of it. He was battling the COVID and had a bad game or two, but the bottom line is, when healthy, he's a real threat shooting the rock.
Yeah, Scott Drew said you could make an argument he was as good as any of the guards on our team before he got hit with COVID.
I can buy that. Played well early in the year. They had a big win over Illinois.
McClung pulls up. In and out. Offensive rebound, though. Keeping it alive on the offensive glass was the freshman Micah Peavy. But it will end up with Baylor.
I like Peavy. I think Peavy's got a tremendous future. Watch this right here now. They're going to really try to attack the ball. They swarm them on D. Get all over the ball. Defensively, you know, both these clubs are going to get after it. Both these clubs have great pride defensively, and that's why they're constantly winning. They really come to play. They have a bad night offensively, but their defense can keep them in a game.
Bullet pass underneath. Chama Chachua denied at the rim. And back the other way comes McCullough.
They got to start making some shots. You can look right now at Texas Tech. They play some strong defense. I think they're the best defensive team in America when I look at this Baylor team. In fact, Rick Pitino, I was talking to him on the phone recently, and he said the same thing. He said Baylor's team defense is just outstanding.
Well, speaking of Baylor, two big games for you Monday on ESPN and the ESPN app. Florida State will square off with Louisville at 7 Eastern on Big Monday, and then we head to the Big 12 for the matchup of the night, a sonic blockbuster. Kansas, Baylor, number 6 against number 2. That's coming up on Monday night. But a very difficult test for Baylor in the meantime at Lubbock first. They've got the early 5-point lead. There's Matthew Meyer crashing the offensive glass. He has been better this year for Scott Drew as well.
Yeah, he's been given versatility. He's a guy to go inside, outside. He can make threes, and he's been very, very consistent this year versus the past. You know, the guy that really, that I talked to Chris Beard, he was really concerned about Chonwa Chachua. I'll tell you, he said, let me tell you, I worry about him because not only his physicality, his energy, his spirit. Everyday Jonathan, he comes in, there he is, right there, man. I'll tell you, I worked on that name like you could not believe.
You nailed it. Just for the record, Chama Chachua just rolled off your tongue like you've been saying it for years.
Well, you helped me big time. You have to admit that. You helped me before the game. Real time. But
there's no reason to let anybody behind the curtain as to our production meeting. It's fine. Let them think you know exactly what you're doing.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Scott Drew told me just call him Everyday John. That's what we call him because he comes to play every day. Transfer. He's a transfer from out of UNLV.
Jared Butler from outside can't connect. McCullough with another rebound.
Very quiet right now, though. Texas Tech having a tough time scoring against this defense. Look at the way they rotate over. They give good help, constantly communicate with each other, close off driving lanes. So many teams you see. I had a game the other day, Alabama, Kentucky. Alabama driving through the big hole like you could not believe. Then finally, when Kentucky rotated over and stopped the drive, they never helped and recovered. One of the arts of basketball defensively, you give help, you got to recover. Help, recover, help, recover.
And there's a rebound for Jared Butler off the miss from Kyler Edwards.
That's the one thing Butler does it all.
A miss from long range for Flagler. And it belongs to Tech.
It's been a while since they've scored, man, when you look at Texas Tech. It's been a quiet scenario. And not getting to their free throw line either. The one thing they're doing, Baylor doesn't foul that much defensively. He learned that. He told me, Chris Beard, he said, when I coached under Bob Knight, he said, if you look at Bob Knight's clubs, they always did better than their opponents in terms of getting to the free throw line. And we work on that attacking. Look right here.
Edwards
great help.
Turns it over.
They do a tremendous job of cutting angles off and helping one another out. Communication, so vital to a good team defensively.
Edwards hit the first 3 of the game. And since then, it has been a 6-minute, 9-0 run for Baylor to give them the 6-point lead.
Yeah, since then, they're 0 for 8. And that's a lot you got to credit to the defense of the Baylor team.
off the glass. After his own miss, but McClung was able to hang on to it with T.J. Shannon.
You know, doing a great job defensively. After almost 9 minutes of play, only got 9 points on the board, Baylor, but you got to be able to score a little bit. Picking up his dribble.
Off the chest of Santos Silva, and this will be an easy one at the other end for Davion Mitchell, and a timeout for Chris Beard.
Mr. Mitchell, baby, up, up, and away. He can rise. He's a skywalker. Oh, they got so much to be happy for down there in Waco, Texas. What a team they have. Incredible.
If your mind is still wrapped up with football and you're trying to get back in that basketball mode, well, we've got some Cliffs Notes here for you to catch you up on what's going on in college basketball. There are only 4 undefeated teams left. We have one of them in our game right now. That, of course, Baylor, along with Gonzaga, Drake, and Winthrop. But Dick Vitale, it has been a feeling blue kind of start to the season for John Calipari. Another loss today, and it's a Kentucky team that has shown flashes but is still trying to find their way.
Well, they played great against Florida, but really a struggle. Shooting the basketball has been a big dilemma for them. You're not going to win if you don't shoot well. That's what they got to start doing, making some shots. Texas Tech.
Another bucket goes down for Texas Tech as McCullough hits the fadeaway.
You know, you show those unbeaten teams. The question I have out there to people, who's going to run the table? Out there right now, odds are it's going to be Gonzaga. I mean, today, Michigan got beat. You talk about a turnaround. I mean, in about 72 hours, they were up 69-29 and blew out. And everybody was going, oh, my God, it was unbelievable the way they dominated a very good Wisconsin team. Had them down 40 before they won by like 20, 25. Bottom line is today, they get beat big time. They were down 20 at one time, got beat by 18 by Minnesota on the road, who they had beaten earlier. So life in the Big Ten, you just don't know. So we're down. You know, I give a shout out to, what about Pat Kelsey and Coach DeVries? People say, who are they? Kelsey's the coach of Winthrop. They're undefeated, got a great program down there. And Coach DeVries out there with that Drake team, they were hit with a little pause because of, oh my, can you believe that? Can you believe that shot? I'd like to play horse against that shot.
Davion Mitchell with a terrific scoop. McClung with a spin move the other way.
He says, hey, anything you can do, I can do better. So he comes back and match it. Man, look at his former Hoya driving to the goal. What a big three he made to beat the Texas Longhorns. Number 4 in the nation. Can they go in a matter of like about 72 hours and be the number 4 and the number 2? They're going to make shots.
Texas Tech had never beaten a top 5 team on the road in program history until McClung was able to beat Texas at the buzzer, and now he steps up and hits a big triple, and it's a 3-point game.
He hits the big triple. That time he hit it on the other side of the floor against Texas. He hit it on the right side of the floor. It had to hurt Patrick Ewing and those kids left. I mean, you think about losing guys with double-figure scorers. Usually you lose guys who really don't get playing time. Really amazing. Patrick's such a good guy and a good coach.
ACO Teague with the left hand. It's rejected by McCullough.
Hey, it's a little game of horse. You try to match this. Come on. I'm going to go to the basket. I'm going to reverse. I'm going to go with the left hand. Going to get a little spin. Lay it on the glass. And McClung says, oh, really? Check this one out, my man. Hey, dude, how'd you like this one? Look at this one right here. I mean, he showed his versatility. Made the three. He drove the basketball. It looked like you, Bob. I saw you go to the basket one time.
One time, maybe. Fade away from the corner for Adam Flagler.
I mean, that was really, you would say, bad shot. Bad shot. I mean, but yet it goes down because the kid's got great feel and great touch. And he had that down there when he played at Presbyterian.
McClung tried to knife through the defense again. Ends up getting tied up. Held ball, so it will stay with the Red Raiders.
Not a good move right there by McClung because he went into traffic. Right there, 3 guys converged on him. He's got to have head up and know there's got to be open people. I mean, you don't have to go to Harvard to figure out if 3 are on the basketball, but you got an opportunity for somebody else. Hey, take a look at this. Little flashback time against number 4 in the nation. Nothing but nylon, and the celebration began. Oh, the hugs, the squeezes.
Well, they were down by double digits at halftime and came back on the road and won. A terrific second half played by Texas Tech on Wednesday night in Austin, and now they're trying to back it up against the #2 team in America at home. But Baylor is playing at a different level than everyone right now in the Big 12 as Davion Mitchell knocks down another three.
He's had a special so far. First about 12 minutes of this game, Mitchell, offensively and defensively, really a big-time player.
Hasn't missed yet. 4 for 4 from the field and 2 for 2 from 3.
They got so many weapons. They can hurt you with so many people. I mean, take a look right there, Mitchell. 4 for 4, man. That's shooting the rock, baby.
That Baylor foul was on Mark Vital. That's his first.
He's some kind of defensive player, boy. Vital isn't getting, you don't hear his name a lot offensively, but he is such a physical force for them on the defensive end. And that's why they're so good, because they take pride guarding the basketball and playing team defense.
Burton leans in. Off the window, too strong. Santos Silva, offensive rebound, and the stick back.
Nice offensive rebound right there by Santos Silva. And you talk about Burton. Burton came from Wichita State. He was a double-figure scorer there. They had all those guys leave, transferred. Ultimately, it cost the job there. Just incredible what went on down there at Wichita State.
Mitchell, nice leave. That's blocked, though, by McCullough.
Yeah, they really think McCullough's starting to really round into shape. Oh, scored a goal.
Give him the basket. Chumwa Chachua is called for goaltending.
Chumwa Chachua, that's what he does really. He does that really well, Bob. Block shots, but in that case was definitely no question that that was goaltending.
One, two, three, four.
Say one thing, they're battling, baby.
Did those guys ever call you Dick Vitale?
What's that?
Well, they're going to break down Carl Ravage's call at halftime with Seth Greenberg. I guess those guys chat and bond, and I don't know. I'm not sure we ever get that bonding experience. It's coming up next on ESPN. We'll have the ACC matchup of the day between Virginia and Clemson. The Cavs have won their last 10 against the Tigers, dating back to the 2013 season. So Clemson will look to end the futility against the Hoos. That's another good game coming up on what is a jam-packed day of college basketball on ESPN and ESPN2 today.
Tell you one thing, Clemson really an improved basketball team. I mean, they're really a good, solid team, play good defense. Kid Sims, a very good player today in the ACC. Florida State with a good win over North Carolina.
McClung turns it over on the wraparound pass that Santos Silva can't handle.
Santos Silva's one of the transfers along with McClung. They brought in Burton as well, 3 transfers. It takes a little time for them to all get that rhythm and that flow together, and they're getting better and better. They got 3 really tough losses. Lost by 1 to Kansas, Oklahoma State in overtime, and to a real good Houston team. They got beat by them. Kelvin Sampson's done one heck of a job at that Houston program.
Flagler draws the foul, so he will go to the free throw line as TJ Shannon is hit with the personal.
You know, Flagler's like a starter. He really is. He's a guy that comes off the bench. Point production comes his way. He was a star down at Presbyterian. In fact, that's one of the things I'm really worried about in college basketball. When they go to the rule where you can transfer immediately and not have to sit out, you watch kids that excel at a mid-major, they're going to be rated, man, and they're going to be off to the big-time schools. And I think that's a rule that's going to be so chaotic and really cause a nightmare to college basketball. Right here's a little team defense. Very difficult to really get space.
McClung shoots over it, and the rebound ends up as a backdoor cut, and the lob a little mistimed as Chumwa Chachua seemed to mistime his jump. Here's Kyler Edwards. Chachua
should have taken that at a better angle and dumped it.
McClung leans in, comes up short, gets his own miss.
Tell you one thing, McClung plays hard. He really does. Got a little bit of spacing right here by Texas Tech. So well coached. Chris Beard has done an amazing job there at Texas Tech. Took him to the final game in the Final Four. Lost that heartbreaker to Virginia for the national championship.
They weren't quite the same level team last season, but they were still pretty good and were on their way to the NCAA tournament again before COVID canceled March Madness.
You know, Bob, you got to think about this. They played Baylor twice last year. Both games came down to the last possession. Lost both, but they were right there with them.
Chumwa Chachua is rejected by McCullough. TJ Shannon the other way, and he will draw the foul. That's the second time McCullough has made his presence felt at the rim defensively.
Yeah, McCullough really a tough, tenacious defensive guy. Got it from his dad, man. His dad was a football player for the Red Raiders. There he is with the block shot. And the one thing about Shannon, he knows how to finish, man. He knows how to score. It's about Chicago, averaging 13 points a game, tacks off the bounce really well, can stroke the three. This is a good Texas Tech team. They're going to win their share of games. I'm going to tell you, there's no doubt the two best conferences in basketball are the Big Ten and the Big 12. That bad play. Pulled in the double team there.
Butler with the steal, tied up, and it's a held ball. Really good defense by Kyler Edwards to tie up Butler on the drive.
You know, Edwards did a terrific job there because that looked like it was going to be a layup, and he got a long ball. But right here, watching defense inside. I mean, frustrating. I mean, look at that defense. They take so much help. They communicate. They give you good time, make you take shots that really you don't want within your realm of your offense. You want to get shots, not just take shots, catch the ball, and shoot it over.
An answer defensively, though, for Texas Tech. And some frustration for Scott Drew as these two teams have combined for 15 turnovers in about the first 15 minutes.
That's because of the defensive situation. Both these clubs, by the way, rank number 1 and 2 in the conference in forcing turnovers because they do such a tremendous job defensively. Hey, he told me a great story the other day. It's the first time, Dickie V, I had a snowball fight with my young kids. In Waco, we had some snow. I was outside throwing snowballs. He said I had a blast. He's got great personality. He really does. Good family man. His dad, Homer, terrific guy. Hall of Famer at Valparaiso. Brother Bryce doing a good job up at Grand Canyon. I think they're 7-3 right now after that Vanderbilt situation, which is so tough down here to win.
And the job he's done at Baylor is miraculous. It's just miraculous. I mean, if you think
really
about
is.
what the program was, and you talked about it, not just what the program was when he took it over, but what the program really had always been for 100 years even before Scott Drew arrived. This is their 253rd game under Scott Drew as a ranked team today. Their 253rd game. In 2,197 games before Scott Drew arrived, they were ranked twice.
Incredible.
And they're now ranked for the 253rd time today. So
I want to be his agent.
I mean, it's not even as if he took over a program that was in tatters, but had a rich history, had a long legacy of being really good, and had to come back from one brief moment where the program was in tatters. They had no legacy, and their program was in tatters. And look what he has done in, the last 18 years. It's a renaissance of a program that is now one of the best in college basketball.
Well, he's the school's all-time winner. There's no question what he's done, especially. He's got 343 wins since he's been there. He's got them in the postseason. He's got them up in the tops in the nation, top 5. Nice tip-in right there.
Micah Peavy with the follow, so that won't be pleasing to Scott Drew, just as we're talking about how wonderful this program is playing. The Bears turn it over, and Texas Tech cuts the lead down to 3.
Well, I like Micah Peavy. I'll tell you one thing. He's got some future, that kid. He's strong, physical. Showed that right there, attacking with that tip-in.
Off the window, Maceo Teague.
Tell you, Teague and Mitchell and Butler, and then you bring Flagler. Show me 4 better guards in America as a group. Show me 4. I want to find that. You got them?
TJ Shannon can't knock it down. No, I agree with you. I think this is the best group of guards in the country, and it's why they're number 2 and have won every game by double figures so far. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college
basketball. I definitely agree with you. You're asking me these tough questions now. I'm trying to concentrate on the game here. I'm only teasing you guys. I swear, it's really an interesting situation here, because it's not as real smooth and silky smooth to play because the defense is so physical. Wow, he shot that one from down. Wow, he shot that down from Austin.
That was certainly from NBA range for Jared Butler. Back the other way. Nice drive. And an easy put through by Kyler Edwards to make it. With 3 minutes to go in the first half, a 3-point game.
You know, Edwards a veteran. He knows a little bit about winning, knows the system really well. Look at the defense.
Another block at the rim. This time it's Micah Peavy, as he was denying Flo Thamba.
Tell you, Peavy only started 13 games already this year as a freshman. Situation, he's played for his dad, Duncanville, a great high school program out there in Texas. And he's just been he's a guy that's going to get better and better and better. Look at him right here, attacking defensively. What a tremendous timing on that play. Wow. This kid is going to be special. I hope he stays in school.
Texas Tech only averages 4.2 blocks per game on average. They've got 5 against Baylor here in the first half. And now a foul called on Davion Mitchell. Well, Dick, let's take this opportunity with you to try and raise some money for kids battling cancer.
Well, I want to see if Greenberg and those guys reach in their pockets, the Ravagers of the world, Kevin Connors, all those guys, reach down, Levanso, all of them, and buy a raffle chance. I'm going to check. If they don't buy one, I'm going to really be screaming to the nation. Look at that beautiful thing. And all the money goes for kids battling cancer. To get one of those raffles, right now we got 1,100 already sold, only 400 remain. We sell 1,500. Just go to dickvitale.com or you're going to be shut out. Just like people were shut out, we raffled off 2 red Mercedes convertibles. They've been both sold out, and at my gala we're going to announce the 3 winners on May 7th at the gala. DickVitale.com. Go there now. Get your raffle chance. The money goes to the V Foundation for kids battling cancer.
And right now the 4,000 or so in Lubbock allowed inside United Supermarkets Arena. Not happy with the offensive foul called on Kevin McCullough. Baylor out of fouls to give. Texas Tech has 1 more, and there's Vital on the offensive glass.
You know, those are the things that Vital does really well. He's not going to be, you know, tantalizing you with driving to the goal, shooting threes. He's going to rebound. He's going to set screens. He's going to get on the offensive boards. All the things that lead to ultimately getting to the winner's locker room.
Shannon lost it. Recovered. Here's McClung straight away. That's off the mark. The tip follow not there for McCullough. Run down by Santos Silva. And there will be a foul call. Santos Silva thought he was going to have to try and save it off of Adam Flagler, but Flagler was called for the foul first.
You know, Santos Silva came from VCU. You got Burton, who came there from Wichita State when he played with Greg Marshall. All those kids were leaving. And then you got McClung from Georgetown. So they're relying on that transfer coming their way. Think about the chaos. You know, last year was 1,000 kids transferred. 1,000. Okay, the portal. What do you think will be in that portal when it's open that you can play immediately? It's going to be unbelievable. Over 2,000. And I don't want to hear about, well, coaches move on. It's not the same. It's not apples to apples. You don't have 2,000 coaches moving on. I mean, it's really crazy. I think it's going to ruin the game. I really do. I think it's a joke that's putting that rule in.
Kyler Edwards with an air ball. Santos Silva tied up. Vital to the deck. And back the other way comes Baylor.
You know, Vital be one heck of a football player.
Step back 3. That's no good.
He's having a tough time shooting the ball here because they're really on him big time.
Meyer tries a 3. That won't go. McCullough with the rebound.
Guys like McCullough and Peavy are really a key to this Texas Tech team. I mean, if they keep getting better and better, this team is going to get better and better.
Shannon can't knock one down from short range. Texas Tech is 8 for 29 from the field, and yet they're only down by 5. Here's Meyer. Yes.
Not 8 now because Meyer has really come up big for them this year. I was on a radio show down there in Waco, and they were talking about how he's improved so much.
McClung. That won't go.
He's having a tough time, man. He looks for his shots, but he's having a tough time scoring.
And it looks like they're going to tag McClung with a flop warning. So a half minute to go in the first half, and Texas Tech with only 18 points on the board, shooting 27% from the field. They've held Baylor below 40%. The Bears are only shooting 37%, but they've got an 8-point lead based in large part on their defense.
You know, but like you said, Bob, they were down double digits at halftime to Texas and came back on the road. So it doesn't mean it's over from any shape or form, even though they scored 18 points. That's a credit to that defense, though, and that's why Ken Pomeroy has them rated where they are. They're the top 4 offensively and defensively in his rankings.
8 to shoot. About a second-and-a-half differential. Butler goes to work. That's blocked again. Here comes McCullough. Plenty of time to get a shot off. He'll launch it from midcourt. And it won't go. So it is an 8-point lead in a low-scoring game at halftime for Baylor.
It wasn't pretty, Bob. It wasn't pretty at all, but the defense was certainly sensational.
So number 2 on the road with an 8-point lead at the break. Time for Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, and LaFonso Ellis. They are in the studio with the halftime report. Reese? Welcome back to ESPN Saturday Showcase, presented by 5 Hour Energy and the Big 12 on ESPN. Just about set for the start of the second half. After a low-scoring first half between Texas Tech and Baylor, Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale on the Saturday Showcase. And, well, Dick, we knew that these were 2 teams who were going to play an intense game today. The pace has been intense. The defensive intensity obviously has been there as well. But what has to flip the switch for either offensively to see some points on the board?
Well, you know, when you talk certainly points on the board, you look 18 points and a half by Texas Tech at home is a no-no. And they got to do a better job. And they're watching here defensively. Defense leading to offense right there. They force the turnover. They get the layup on the other end of the floor. But you know, it's amazing. They're up 8 to show you how good this team is. They're up 8, Baylor, and their star player, and I know they talked about it recently, guys, during the break here. Mr. Butler now is 0 for 6. So you look at Butler, not scoring, 0 for 6 right now, averaging 16 points a game. I mean, that just tells you how good they are. But on the other side, you're going to have to get McClung going, making some shots. He's got to make some shots for them to be able to come back and win this game.
McClung was 3 for 9 in the first half, 1 of 5 from 3. He's got 7. And he leads Texas Tech. There's the freshman Micah Peavy with a strong drive to open up the second half.
Well, Peavy showed a great first stepper. I know Jay Billis has always liked him. You know, Jay and Dan are going to have a great time on Monday night calling that game between Kansas and Baylor. It'll be some terrific basketball game.
Davion Mitchell answers.
Mitchell's had a strong game. He's one guy that has been very productive offensively. I love their backcourt. I really do. I think they do it on both ends of the floor. They play together. They play to win. We're going to help right there.
McCullough hits the side of the backboard, but is able to regather. Nice cross-court look to Kyler Edwards, and he can't make it pay off.
And that was a
Loose
good
ball.
offensive move.
Hustle play by Peavy keeps it alive.
Went with that zigzag pass, threw it over the defense, as you said, and he had the wide open look to a guy that could stroke the 3 in Kyler Edwards. Didn't go down. I think you're thinking too much too now rather than just playing. I think you start thinking about, well, missing shots, you can't score, and it starts weighing on you psychologically. They take it, really, it makes it really difficult. Can't get into a flow. Great try, Peavy. I tell you, he's going to be special. His dad was a high school coach, plays out over at Duncanville, the kid. Duncanville's had a history of great athletics.
There's a takeaway by Butler. The lob. And it just rolls off the rim for Davion Mitchell.
And Mitchell was right there, too, man, for a little jam.
There's a 4-point turnaround as McCullough is able to knock down the 15-footer at the other end.
You know, as I said earlier in the telecast, McCullough and Peavy are 2 guys who are going to get better and better, and that's going to elevate the game of this team here. Now, I can tell you what, Texas Tech's going to get better and better as the season progresses. You got a veteran team you're playing now in this Baylor team. And you look
Mitchell
at the
can't
situation.
hit the 3.
That baby was in, too, rolled out.
ACOT recovers in the corner, 13 to shoot. Teague pulls up. Yes.
They got so many guys that can stroke it. They got 4 guys that shoot better than 40% from the 3. I mean, plus play that team defense.
Garrett Butler's 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, hasn't scored yet. As McClung hits a 3, and yet his team is still up by 5.
I'll tell you one thing, he's not bashful. I don't care how he goes 0 for 9. You know what? You want scores. Scorers do that. You have a bad time, you keep shooting, you keep shooting.
Butler sets up Mitchell. Peavy's got the rebound.
He's smooth. I'll tell you what, Peavy's smooth.
Nice pass through traffic, and Santos Silva missed the layup.
Wow, what a great pass by Peavy. You can see why people like him.
Another takeaway from McCullough. Santos Silva this time makes no mistake.
Yeah, he made up for the one he missed. He's, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Look at all the cheerleaders. They love it too, baby. They love it. It's Jam City. A little slam jam bam by Mr. Silva.
Timeout called by Scott Drew with a 3-point lead now, all that stands between Baylor and Texas Tech. Dickie V, it's fun when you see a freshman like Micah Peavy do all the little things that the veteran players do.
Yeah, really great defensive play right there. See him rotate over. He's very physical, hustling on the floor. He's got to be mighty proud. We're going to rebound the basketball. We'll handle it too. A little one-on-one. He's going to turn the corner, show that speed. Good first step, lays it down. He was the player of the year, 6A player of the year in Texas. The player of the year in Texas, Greg Brown, another great freshman, hyper dandy down there in Texas. But this kid is going to be special, there's no question. He has great work ethic. Coach Beard told me his work ethic's off the charts, and he's a guy that just wants to be a player.
Vital nearly turns it over, falling out of bounds, saves it to Chama. And now the floater on time for Adam Flagler.
Flagler, he's just an offensive machine. Every time he steps on the court, you call his name, he scores. I mean, the guy is just really been a big plus for them. Big plus. Transfer.
He's got 8.
They've had some good transfers, man. Mitchell from out of Warburg.
There's a 3 for Jamarius Burton.
He's a kid that played at Wichita State. We talked about him. He's a point guard that handled the ball really well. Average double figures. Played for Greg Marshall. So he does about winning.
Flagler lobs one. The lay-in is on time for Chama.
Chachua really did a great job right there. Who rolled to the basket. Jonathan, oh man, they took it right at him and scored on the guy. Every day,
really nice scoop by McClung. And now Vital turns it over, tries to get it back, held ball, and it will belong with Baylor.
Tell you one thing, is take it to the bank. Chris Beard's clubs will never roll over. They're going to play with intensity, they're going to play with emotion, and they're going to play with passion, and they're well coached. They don't go away, man. They keep coming at you.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale bringing you Baylor and Texas Tech. But transferring is certainly going to be something that we will see a lot more of. You can see how it has increased over the years. And Dick Vitale this past year, 1,039 total transfers in Division I basketball, and we expect it will only go up from there with the recent rule change that now a player can, all of them, make a one-time transfer without having to sit out a year.
Well, I think they tabled the rule for the moment, but that's going to pass. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of time. It definitely will pass. And once that happens, chaos is going to blow. It's going to double that number. And like I said, some cases a kid should transfer. I mean, if things aren't going well, there's nothing wrong with it. But to have kids just run all the time, bottom line is life is tough. You got to go through ups and downs. You got to learn to fight, to battle, and to really go there and do things in a mentally tough way. That's what life is. I mean, it's not smooth. I think too many just listen to guys on the streets, fill their minds up. Oh, go here, go there, you'll play, get out of there, and they listen to wrong advice. And I really believe that. I mean, I just think that, I keep arguing about, well, coaches. Look at this right here. It's a lot of
Chris Beard, we talked to him about it. Yeah, and he said, look, it's what I'm comfortable with. It's what college basketball is turning into a lot of roster management, and there will be a much more immediate and growing free agent market in college basketball each year.
Well, like even the power schools, you take the Dukes, the Kentuckys, and those schools there. Guys are going to be 7th, 8th man. People are going to fill their heads up. When you come with us, you're going to start right away. It's going to be crazy. Mid-major players who start, they're going to automatically get contact. Hey, the word will get out quickly through somebody to fill their head up that if you come here to School X, a power school, they're going to take you, man, and you'll play in a big-time environment. So I think it's unhealthy for the game. Totally unhealthy. And I don't want to hear the argument about coaches. Coaches do lead, but figure how many coaches lead. You can't make that same argument. And if you want to solve that, I could solve that problem easily. If a coach
we got two
leaves,
coaches that are not going anywhere in our game right now, which is now tied, and T.J. Shannon going to the line with a chance to give Texas Tech the lead with an old-fashioned three-point play.
You know, Shannon really is a guy who can score. But let me finish this point, Bob, here. I want to finish this here about the transfer situation with coaches. You know, you solve the problem. If a coach leaves or gets fired, those kids should be allowed to transfer and not lose a year. Those kids, you solve that problem. So I don't want to hear about coaches leave, so why should kids not leave? I'm tired of it. You got me fired up on this and then get away from the game. See this? You got me fired up on this.
I was trying to steer you back in the right direction.
Hey, we're going to have a good game down the stretch here, maybe. This is the first time that Baylor's been tested like this.
They're going to take a look and see if there was a lane violation on the free throw attempt by T.J. Shannon. Oh, it might be a hook and hold.
Him right there. He's hooking him.
It's not a lane violation. That looks like that's a hook and hold that they want to take a look at on the Santos Silva offensive rebound.
Tell you one thing, I really give a lot of credit the way they battled back. They were down 8, struggling to score. Came back out here, got a little better shots, better ball movement. You look at Texas Tech. They opened the game up an 11-2 run, as you can see right there. Second half, Texas Tech's got themselves a 2-1 edge in a run, 16-8.
And it's going to be a flagrant one on Flo Thamba right there for that hook on Santos Silva.
There's no doubt about it. Good call. Real good call. Good bit of officiating.
So that will be Santos Silva now to shoot, and Texas Tech will get the ball. He's only a 59% free throw shooter. A reminder, Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Wednesday, Texas takes on Iowa State at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Plus, the Red Raiders will square off against TCU at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Baylor, TCU, Saturday, February 6th. All of those games are available. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com/Big 12 now. Just off the heel was Kyler Edwards from long range. Little Euro step crossover, and Jared Butler still can't buy a bucket, and Vital can't find the offensive rebound.
Tell you a couple of good block shots right there again defensively. This is a whole different scene here for Baylor. Being behind, that's something new. Mentally, now they got to battle and battle and battle. Take a look here. This block, see, tries the Euro step, and there's the good timing on the block. These kids love playing defense, both these teams.
4 block shots in the game for Kevin McCullough. Skip pass to the corner. And it's off Flagler.
Tell you one thing, McCullough, when you think about McCullough, he's got to have some injuries as well. And he gives him that physical presence stuff. Little Uncle Mo on the side right now, Texas Tech. Too bad they don't have a packed house out there. This place would be exploding. There's about, I guess, 33,000, 3,500 people there.
Burton. That comes up short.
Usually gets some good play off the bench from Burton. The guy's a veteran player.
Meyer He can't hit the three. Well, neither team shooting the ball well, as Baylor is now 5 for 18 from three. Texas Tech is 4 of 18. Peavy.
Oh, what a great
under,
move. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you serious? That's a diaper dandy. What great footwork down there in the post, and the bench loves it. They love Mr. Peavy. Remember the name, people. Remember the name, Micah Peavy. Peavy. Oh,
shot fake and a nice one from Mitchell, and he earns 2 at the line. How about the footwork here from the freshman Micah Peavy?
Most guys would walk in this situation, catches the ball, and now he puts it to the deck. He's going to spin, and look at a head fake and keeps the pivot foot down. Tremendous footwork right there. Now I can understand why Jay Billis is so high on this kid. Look at that move there, lays it on the glass. Tremendous move.
Mitchell hit the backboard first with that initial free throw attempt. That foul, by the way, was on Edwards.
Hey, Bob, you can see where Peavy's been well coached. Really well coached. His dad's done a heck of a job with him. Fundamentally, you can see that really understands how to play. Wow, 2 misses. Well, remember this. We came into today. There were 5 teams undefeated. We're down to 4
Offensive
today.
foul on McClung.
Michigan got beat. You had a foul right there. Michigan got beat. Will it be a scenario where another road team undefeated gets upset? Well, look at this here. Oh, he lowered his shoulder. There's no doubt about that. It's like a linebacker right there. Talking about football. Hey, Bob, I know you do all the games with the Jets. Tell him to keep Darnold and get Devontae Smith. Are you kidding me? Get Devontae Smith.
I'll put it in the suggestion box.
I like the I like the new guy they hired too. It seems like the players love him. Coach
Yeah,
Sale.
all of his old players really rave about him, and he's paid his dues. 15 years as an assistant in the league, been with a couple of teams that have gone to Super Bowls, defensive coordinator of a Super Bowl team. So, yeah, Robert Saleh was a very popular choice for a very beaten down fan base in New York. Let's put it that way.
Well, Richard Sherman on Twitter had a great compliment about him as well. See here, Baylor got a little nice one-on-one move here for Teague. Teague knows how to score. He's another one of those guys, a transfer.
That foul on Peavy, that's his 3rd. So a little bit of foul trouble for each team starting to pop up. Flo Thamba's on the bench. He's got 3. And now Peavy becomes the first Red Raider to pick up his 3rd foul.
Well, remember this, Bob, as we came in the game on the top of the show, we talked about the fact that when you looked at this Baylor team, 3rd in the nation in terms of shooting the 3-point shot. And on the other side, you looked at Texas Tech. They go to the free throw line more than anybody in basketball. 368 times they've gone to the free throw line. That's amazing.
McCullough picks up his dribble, skips one to McClung in the corner, but he stepped on the sideline.
That's twice he stepped on the sideline today. Wow.
Celebrity row. He'll be busy this weekend, but it's nice to see he's taken in the Texas Tech game. Let's check out the best stuff that happened earlier, brought to you by Papa John's. And there have been some shots, Dick Vitale, that have been stuffed by that Texas Tech defense.
Yeah, they really something. Watch the play here by Peavy. I love that first step, Bob, the way he explodes to the basket. Really good. Watch the footwork. Oh, what a great head fake. Most guys would make that fake and they would lift the pivot foot. Great footwork. You'd see that he's worked on that on a regular basis.
Asked Chris Beard about him, only averaging about 6 points a game. He said you also have to understand how many weapons we have and how many freshmen in America right now are playing the minutes he's playing for a team ranked as high as we're ranked. And it is true. I mean, most of the kind of quote-unquote one-and-done factories this year are unranked and have been struggling. So Peavy's playing an important role for a highly ranked team that has Final Four hopes.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's no doubt about it. Chris Beard is right. He's fitting in with a club here that's got some veteran players there. We look at Shannon's and the Edwardses and company. And, you know, McClung's really a veteran guy that played in terms of Georgetown. And it takes a little while, and he's just part of a team. He's part of a team, but you can see skills that he has that separates him from many. Look at it, help on the defense. Beat him to the baseline.
Maceo Teague, though, able to knock one down off the feet from Butler. Butler still without a basket, but Baylor still has a 1-point lead.
But he did a great job there, Butler. He recognized the double team. He got the ball right over, right there for that little jump shot.
McClung hits the three to put Texas Tech back on top.
I love his toughness. There's something about him you got to like. He's got that mental tenacity, and he believes in himself. He's got that swag, man. He's got that swag.
Butler still can't ring the bell. Meyer tried to keep it alive, and now Butler commits the foul as he ran into T.J. Shannon.
You know, it's amazing. Butler, like the basket was like the, the Pacific Ocean when he played the last game against TCU. And today here, it's like a little teacup. And he's having a tough time, but he's still hustling on the floor, and he's still doing other things. Like he made the good assist there to pass for that open jump shot.
We've got a good one. Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale, the Saturday Showcase, featuring Texas Tech and Baylor, and it's a 2-point lead for Tech. Coming off of their win on Wednesday night against number 4 Texas. Can they back it up with a win against number 2 Baylor?
Going to double up right there. Going to reverse the ball. Get it away from the trap.
McClung. That's blocked by Vital. Back the other way comes Flagler.
Tell you, Vital always making big defensive plays. See right there,
Beautiful
Vital
left-handed layup by Teague.
You know, Teague gets the layup, Bob, but that's created because of the defense on the other end by Vital. You know, he doesn't score, but they get leads in 2 points.
And Vital is such a consistent player, stuffing the stat sheet in all of those different areas. A little baby pull-up short for Santos Silva. Swooping in. Is that an offensive foul called on Jared Butler? We've got 2 big games for you coming up on Monday. ESPN and the ESPN app is where you'll find Florida State squaring off against Louisville at 7. And then we head to the Big 12 for the matchup of the night. 9 Eastern, Kansas takes on Baylor. It's a sonic blockbuster as number 6 meets number 2.
Yeah, Kansas had that loss to Oklahoma State, Cade Cunningham and company. I hope the NCAA makes them win that appeal they have, because they deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. They penalize the right people, except they penalized in the case of going one step further and putting on a 1-year sanction in terms of playing in a tournament. That should be a no-no. Those kids did nothing.
McCullough swoops in, battling with Butler for the loose ball, and it looks like he may have drawn a foul. Did they stick McCullough with the foul?
Chris Beard, he's got the beard right there.
Well, they just think they just called it a held ball.
He's always looking for a shot in the clock. He's always looking for getting free for shoot the jumper.
Shot clock down to 5. McClung, straightaway 3 is blocked by Jared Butler. Loose ball at midcourt though. McClung first to the floor, and he's able to save it to Burton. Micah Peavy. Bounce pass through traffic, knocked out of bounds. It looked like Flagler got a piece.
You know, great effort by McClung, but also let's credit here Butler. Butler's a star, and he's having a miserable night shooting the ball. But it hasn't stopped him from the defensive end. But look at McClung. He knows the shot was blocked, but that didn't end his play. He didn't sit there and pout and sulk about it. He dove for the loose ball, man. That's a winner. That's a kid with a winner's mentality. Tell you one thing, Patrick Ewing must really feel frustrated to watch a kid like that. You had average 15 points a game for you, and here he is starring out for Texas Tech instead of putting the Hoyt uniform on. That's going to be very frustrating.
Shannon with a brick.
Shot right there. You look like one of mine, man. That was Brick City, USA, baby. That was Brick City, USA. Wow. Question is, will Baylor leave here undefeated? Remember Michigan, we only got 4 now. Michigan lost today.
ACO Teague uses the backboard again.
They wonder if it's up to certainly Mitchell and Teague. They're going to leave here with a W back to Waco before they play Kansas.
Teague's got 14. McClung's got 15. Those are your 2 leading scorers. And that drive by McCullough results in a foul. That's going to go against Mark Vital.
And that's what they do well. Get to the free throw line. They really do an excellent job. We tell you, they lead the nation. Look at this. Here's the unbeaten teams right now. Coach DeVries down there at Drake. Let's give the guy a shout out. Pat Kelsey, what a job doing at Winthrop. Unbelievable. And they got the 2 giants up there on top. Gonzaga. To me, Gonzaga's not going to get beat this year. I know they got a tough one maybe when they go to BYU. And I know that their St. Mary's is never Cupcake City. But that team is so strong with Suggs and with Kispert and Timmy. I mean, it goes on and on. This is the best team, I believe, that Mark has ever had.
Well, it's a shame that Baylor-Gonzaga game didn't happen.
Yeah, that game was postponed. And was it? Well, right now they got to go through their league schedule, but maybe they'll get a chance to play during the tournament.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine they'll be able to reschedule the regular season game, but you're right, they might be on a collision course with one another in the NCAA tournament. By the way, that foul on Vital, his 3rd. So Peavy and Edwards have 3 apiece for Texas Tech, and now Vital joins Flo Bamba as the players with 3 fouls for Baylor. 8.5 minutes to go. Deadlocked at 42.
We got a tough one, man. Maybe come down the wire. Remember I told you last year, both games came down to the last possession. Both went to Baylor. They got the veteran players, guys that have been there. When you look at Texas Tech is trying to blend in those transfers and a couple freshmen with a couple of their veterans, and it takes a little longer, especially this year because of the pandemic and because
shot clock is 3. Teague has to force one up, and it won't go.
Now it becomes big, Bob, when you get down to the end of this game here. Shot selection is so important. Making free throws and shot selection becomes a key.
McClung off balance, but drew a foul.
He has a way to draw contact. He really understands how. He's a scorer. He's got that scorer's mentality.
That foul on Butler, that's his 3rd. Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale. Baylor's got this game to worry about before they get to take on Kansas at home in our Sonic Blockbuster on Big Monday. But Dick, that is a matchup any college basketball fan is going to be looking forward to seeing, because those might be the 2 best teams in the Big 12. We'll see.
Well, we can certainly find out. Texas might have an answer for that, and so can maybe Texas Tech. But this is going to be a great basketball game. Hey, Baylor came in 3rd in the nation shooting the 3. Okay, 42%. They're shooting 5 for 19 here. On the other hand, Texas Tech leads the nation getting to the free throw line. Leads the nation 368 times. The one great thing about Baylor, they don't foul. They've only gone to the line 5 times in this game.
And Jared Butler is still looking for his first basket of the game. Leans in, blocked again. It'll stay with Baylor with 5 on the shot clock.
He's got to wait for that shot. He's basically trying to force the action right now. I think he mentally is thinking too much about the fact. Here he is right now. He's going to try to go off the screen. He used the screen. Defense converges on him to get the ball back.
The offensive rebound and the putback won't go, but Vital, it looks like, has drawn the foul and will go to the free throw line. Well, coming up next on ESPN, a good one in the ACC. The matchup of the day in that conference, it's Virginia and Clemson. The Cavs have won their last 10 against the Tigers dating back to the 2013 season. So Clemson would like to end their futility against the Hoos. It's a top 20 matchup. Virginia-Clemson coming up next here on ESPN.
Well, the one thing with Tony Bennett and the Hoos, they've done that to a lot of teams, so Clemson doesn't have to feel too bad about that. Also, Texas Tech knows a little about Virginia. Lost that heartbreaker to them for the national championship game. What a game that was. And you think about what Chris Beard's done to put them in that position is amazing. Just amazing.
Davion Mitchell back in for Baylor. Last season there were 10 semifinalists for Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. It was the man at the free throw line who became one of the 4 finalists, Mark Vital and Davion Mitchell. So of the top 10 defensive players in college basketball last year, Baylor had 2 of them. And now it looks like Flagler will be called for a foul as he got a hand up on Santos Silva.
You know, the great thing about that, Bob, it becomes contagious to everyone on the floor. When you get your teammates playing great team defense, guys know they have to participate and contribute. And Scott Drew takes advantage of that and makes sure, stressing that all the time. His dad did that down in Valparaiso. Certainly was a solid fundamental coach, did a great job, and certainly raising his sons as well.
Santos Silva now with 6 points to go along with 9 rebounds.
Yeah, Baylor's done a great job keeping him off the line. It really has.
Texas Tech now 6 of 9 at the free throw line as a team. And they've got the 1-point lead with 7 minutes to go. Old school floater is perfect for Flagler.
Tell you, Flagler just he makes things happen. We know he can shoot the ball, but he's added the driving game to his game as well. As you look here, 3-point shooting, 5 for 19. Tech 5 for 21. Third in the nation. Baylor shooting the 3, better than 42%. Not here. I telegraphed that pass.
Silva scrambling for the loose ball, and on the dive, the officials come together as Vital hit the deck. Who is it out off of? Looks like it will go to Baylor. Well, Dick, if these 2 teams would have met in the NCAA tournament last season, who knows what would have happened? That's one of the topics that you covered in these 2 books that are going to help children battling cancer.
Well, the lost season in my other book is the Mount Rushmore is the 4 best coaches, players. Anybody would like a copy, autograph, just go to dickvitale.com and all the dollars go for kids battling cancer. So just go to dickvitale.com, get an autographed copy, and help us raise money for the V Foundation for Kids.
Mitchell lost it.
Well, maybe deja vu again as last year when the games came down to the last possession. Only thing is, Texas Tech is trying to change the trend. The trend last year was all Baylor winning both games.
See a lot of turnovers both ways. 30 combined turnovers between the 2 teams.
Well, they rank 1 and 2 in the conference, forcing turnovers. They really do. And they play such great team defense, it makes it difficult for you to get open shots. Every shot's almost contested. Step back right here.
That won't go. Offensive rebound, Santos Silva, and a reset. McClung sets up McCullough. He penetrates the floater, no good. Another offensive rebound. McCullough this time. His putback is no good. Santos Silva tries again, and finally it is cleared, and out of the pack comes Jared Butler.
They have 4
He goes to the rim.
4 opportunities.
In the corner, it is an L.J. Cryer freshman 3. A big shot and a big sequence for Baylor. They're back up by 4.
Well, Cryer can shoot the 3. He's their 5th guard. You factor him in with the other 4 guards. They got some players on that perimeter. McCullough
tied up. Santos Silva now in the post. Bowls his man over. I guess that was a flop. That is a flop warning on Mark Vital. They're going to give Santos Silva the basket and tell Mark Vital, do not flop.
Santos Silva is really tough physically. I'm going to tell you something. That last possession could really be a difference maker. 4 efforts they had. They had 4 opportunities and could not score. They were really working like you could not believe. A coach could ask for more. Great effort. Yes, he can. A coach could ask, why can't you score? He can ask for more. Oh, gee, I could turn it around because you don't get the 2 down here, and there comes the guy off the bench and hits the big 3. Unbelievable. That's a 5-point swing.
How about Texas Tech has 17 offensive rebounds and 5 second chance points. Well, so they've done little to nothing with all of those extra opportunities they've given themselves. And finally, Jared Butler hits his first bucket of the game, and Baylor up by 5.
Trying to get away a little bit here. Got to make this count.
Nice fake by McCullough.
wide open. McCullough and Peavy. I'm telling you, they're going to get better and better, and the team is going to follow their suit.
A one-possession game with 4.5 minutes to go.
Well, you're down a winning time, and guys like Butler usually come up and shine big at this time of the game.
Butler to the basket. He'll go to the line.
Hey, one thing, he's not afraid still to try to score and attack, even though he's had a bad game shooting. The last time he makes the hoop, and now here it is, he's going to go to the free throw line. He creates a foul opportunity.
They just announced the mid-season Wooden Top 25 award group this past week, and Jared Butler is on the list. That is our Wendy's Wooden watch, as he is indeed a mid-season top 25 Wooden watch finalist.
Hey, well, he looked like one for sure in that TCU game. 28 points, played brilliantly, and it's funny. Look at this, Chris Beard coaching, showing fundamentals right here, teaching a young guy, Mr. Peavy.
Well, they called that foul on Peavy. That's his 4th, so he will sit down. The only team in America that has won every game this season by at least 8 points is Baylor, and they've won them all by double figures. They have not trailed by more than 4 in a game this year. So
that's a foul right here.
They're in rare territory playing a game this close with 4:12 to go. And there is Chamwa Chichua drawing the offensive foul on Kyler Edwards.
Yeah, he stepped in really well. Good job, good call, no doubt about it. Edwards has been real quiet. He's a guy that can stroke that 3. Tough to go to any double teams here against them, because you go to double teams, they'll find the open guy. Biggest shot of the game so far has been Pryor's 3. Coming off the bench, trading that 3.
Step back 3 for Butler. All of a sudden, he's heating up.
I told you, he likes this time of the game. He's a guy who plays big when the lights are on big.
McClung with a 2. And a quick timeout called by Chris Beard. 3.5 minutes to go. Number 2 on the road with a 5-point lead in Lubbock. Come back with us for the stretch run between Baylor and Texas Tech. And ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get it. 3.5 minutes to go. Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale bringing you Baylor and Texas Tech. Baylor, school record longest win streak as well in all of Division I, and they have won every game by double figures. They're the only team in America that's won every game by at least 8 this year. Not even Gonzaga has done that, and they've got a 5-point lead against a very tough group of Red Raiders with 3.5 minutes remaining.
Well, every defensive possession becomes big right now when you look at Texas Tech, and every offensive goal.
Flagler steps into a triple.
They're showing now why they were 3rd in the nation in terms of field goal percentage shooting the 3. Shot poorly earlier because Texas Tech did a great job covering the 3. But Flagler's the guys who can make one, and certainly Butler and certainly Mitchell. I mean, you can go right down the line. They got a number of guys that can stroke that 3. Every possession becoming so big right now for Texas Tech. They make you work on every possession. Look at a great show. Help defense right there by Jonathan.
Shot clock down to 5. Shannon on the drive, off the heel. And a foul is called. It looks like they may get the foul on T.J. Shannon.
Well, right now, Baylor called the Butler. They said, Mr. Butler, we need some help. And Mr. Butler says, I'm going to take over, baby. I tell you, look at Pryor knocking down the 3. And here goes Mr. Butler. Right now, step back. The Sari made the big play. And I'll tell you one thing. He's one of the best players in America. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it took him about 34.5 minutes to show up offensively. But once he decided that he was feeling it, he knocked down a couple of big threes And those two baskets, Dick, have been the difference in this being a one-possession game, and Baylor stretching it tonight.
You know, Bob, I can't emphasize enough what it really meant to Baylor. Getting that three from Cryer. Had not played the whole game, basically. Comes in and strokes a three. And I'll tell you another sequence that was big in this game. When they had the 4 offensive rebounds. When they had them on the glass right there, Texas Tech really working the glass. And they come up empty. And on the other end, they come down with a big three. Take a look at PV sitting on the pine with 4 fouls.
No, he's got 5. That last foul was not called on TJ Shannon. It was called on PV after all. So Micah Peavy is fouled out.
Micah Peavy is going to be a special player in that uniform for Texas Tech. There's no doubt about it, son. You got a great future. A little stronger physically. Could be a very good player.
Davion Mitchell just got tagged with his 3rd, so that puts McClung at the line. He's an excellent free throw shooter, over 80%.
Pretty tough task when you got to play the number 2 team in the country after you just beat the number 4. But you got to turn around the other way and say, look at Baylor. They're going to come down here on the road to play Texas Tech, who's hungry as heck to want to upset them. And then they got to go to Kansas and play Monday night against the Jayhawks. And that's life basically in the Big 12, and same thing with the life in the Big 10. I mean, turn around, we talked about Michigan today. That's we're only down to 4 unbeaten teams, and one of them is Baylor, along with Gonzaga, Winthrop, and certainly Drake, who's had a great year. They're on pause right now because of the COVID-19.
A chance for free throws now for Jared Butler. Well, Dick, you alluded to it, and our Cliff's Notes that are giving you the college hoops cheat sheet if you need it. There are 5 ranked teams in the Big 10. There are also 5 ranked teams from the Big 12. Sets up a pretty good debate. Big 12, Big 10, which is the best conference so far in college basketball, and maybe the best freshman Cade Cunningham plays in this league.
Well, his stock is way, way up. You know, he and he's talking about best freshman. Kid down at Gonzaga is pretty good too, but it sucks. But those two guys really are separate. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. I hope that the kids at Oklahoma State get the opportunity to play in the tournament. I thought the NCAA, when they gave their sanctions, they did the right thing. They penalized big time Lamont Evans, who was involved as an assistant coach there. They put him on a 10-year show cause to coach. They certainly penalized the school financially a little bit, and also they took away some scholarships. That's all good, but they should have never, ever put the year where they couldn't play in the tournament because it affected innocent kids and innocent people. So I hope they win their appeal.
It looks like an offensive foul will be called an arm bar on Butler.
Right now, they do a miracle right here. Miracles do happen, but they're going to make it happen right now. Texas Tech, there goes the little right here. Going to call him for using that left arm.
So Butler picks up his 4th.
You know what I like about Butler, Bob? It's easy for a kid to get down when you're not making shots, but he kept hustling. We saw him diving on the floor. We kept seeing him play defense, kept attacking. Finally, a couple of shots fell for him. That's a sign of a guy that's got a winner's mentality. That's what the Baylor kids are all about. You can say that about Texas Tech. They're all about the team concept, both these teams. Same thing we see when you watch Kansas play.
Free throws coming for Texas Tech with 1:48 to go.
Why stay inside the lines when you could add some flavor to everything around you? A little cheesy here, crunch of color there. Discover the possibilities of just $1. Taco Bell's $1 loaded nacho taco. It's value beyond belief.
Mark Vidal called for his 4th. I wouldn't mind samples if they wanted us to promote the product.
Tacos.
Sure.
Got to make these free throws.
McCullers had another good game.
You know, as I said earlier, and I really believe this, that McCullough and Peavy are going to get better and better. Because, remember, the pandemic really created a problem for new players and new kids getting familiar with their teammates, the rhythm, the timing. And I'm telling you something, those guys are going to get better as the season progresses.
That's a double-double for Kevin McCullough. 10 points to go along with 10 rebounds. And it's now a 6-point game with 1:48 to go. Don't go away.
Why should your business go hybrid? As a coach, my office is nowhere without a solid line and agile, skilled players. I need the speed of a running back and the security of a lineman. A hybrid cloud approach with IBM gets your business both, so you can manage data and apps whatever plays come your way.
Here, Coach.
When security meets agility, you're unstoppable. Bring it in, guys. Bring it in. Bring it in. 1, 2, 3. Hybrid!
As soon as we're done in Lubbock, next up, a big one in the ACC between Virginia and Clemson. Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale bringing you the closing moments of Baylor, Texas Tech. It's a 61-55 Baylor lead with 1:49 to go. Now some confusion as Jamarius Burton is being sent back to the bench. I guess Chris Beard wanted to put Burton in the game, and instead Avery Benson has to come back on. As the substitution was not allowed for some reason. And a quick tie-up. And Flagler, it's a held ball. And the arrow belongs to Texas Tech.
They got a lucky break right there. I thought he was quick with the jump ball situation. And a double up. Well, I guess a good call. He's right, I'm wrong. Give me a turnover, baby. And if you give me a turnover, make it an apple.
All the times that I've worked with you, that's a first. You've been right every single time until just now.
In my dreams. In my dreams.
There's the lob to Shannon. Offensive foul called on T.J. Shannon. That is a killer turnover for Texas Tech after they got the held ball.
You're right, Bob. No question about it. Killer turnover. He's been quiet here today. He's in triple threat position, can try to beat him, and he runs him right down. You got to spin back the other way. Yeah, he's got to spin. Beat you to the spot. You got to spin back the other way. But Shannon and Kyler Edwards have been really quiet in this game. Those are veterans that we're really counting upon to really step up in this moment. No spacing right now, taking some time off the clock. There's the double up. Post
Mitchell's trapped at midcourt, and a timeout called by Baylor to help bail him out. So the Bears now down to one timeout remaining in the last minute and a half. And our player of the game brought to you by Phillips 66, Davion Mitchell. In the absence of Jared Butler, Dick, a long portion of this game, Butler didn't give Baylor anything offensively. Davion Mitchell really stepped up.
Yeah, he did, especially early in the game. He had 4 for 4 quick and a couple of threes, and that was a big plus for them early in the basketball game when they were struggling offensively. Scott True, man, he just keeps working and working that sideline. What an amazing job he has done in Waco. Hey, take a look at Mr. Mahomes, my man, Patrick. I shared a little moment with him at the Final Four, Texas Tech game. When they played down there, and Final Four is a funny scenario. It was really funny. Hey, Bob, you get a kick out of this. Somebody said the guy wants an autograph over there. So I go over, I take a picture, and all that jazz, and I come back, and somebody said, I don't think you know who that was. I said, that's Patrick Mahomes. I ran back. I said, Patrick, I'm sorry, man. He started laughing. What a great, beautiful kid. He was down there supporting the team at the Final Four. Really great personality.
Well, I don't think he has to worry about going unrecognized now.
Well, I don't think he's going to have to worry about him. And he's not going to have to worry about a meal either. There's no doubt about it. Because I think he's making a few dollars. Here we go.
I think he can afford a nice dinner out.
Still a 2-point, it's still a 2-possession game right here. If he knocked down a couple threes, if he can come up empty on the free throw line, got to block out on this line to make sure you get possession of the ball.
Chamwa Chachua this year has been a much more reliable free throw shooter, 79%. He makes 1 of 2, so it's a 7-point game with 1:13 remaining.
Well, you know, Chamwa Chachua, what I like about him is he gives so much energy and such a physical presence on the floor, plays with such spirit, came from UNLV, Came out of Cameroon, played over Cameroon, and then he played in Australia. He's been a traveling man. Vegas.
McClung lost it, stripped away, and back the other way comes Davion Mitchell, and the veteran Baylor guard set will pull it back out.
Yeah, very smart, very smart. Good IQ basketball-wise. There's a trap, spread the floor, use the post a little bit if they want.
Final timeout called as they got Mitchell pinned up against the sideline right in front of his own bench.
Tremendous.
Yeah, they have to be such a difficult team to try and trap and get steals and come from behind against it, because of all four guards being on the floor. I'm not sure, you know, as a coach, how you would try and attack a four-guard group, and you know you have to create turnovers.
Yeah, well, you got to create turnovers. You got no choice. But the bottom line is they spread the court. They're not only skilled, their guards, they're also well coached. They're placed in the right position on the floor. And they always have the outlet guy, the guy working at the post. If you double up and they don't play that post and deny him the ball there, bring it there, you go to the opposite side, and good things happen.
How did you pick which awards to put behind you for this camera?
Which awards?
There's only about 75,000 awards in your house. Which ones you pick?
What awards? I didn't even know you. Oh, back there. Blame my wife.
You're not even aware of what's behind you?
My wife set that up. My wife, come on now, guys. My wife set it up. Oh, gee,
that's funny. And by the way, slide a little to the left or the right so we can see Lorraine. Your head is blocking the only picture of Lorraine.
Where's Lorraine?
Now we're talking. See, that's the way you should sit. Much better. This on camera just took a major step up.
49 years. Going to be 50 years this year on May 22nd. Best move I ever made.
Yeah, she only looks like about 25 years younger than you.
Hey, talk about stability. I'm 42 years at ESPN, 49 years in marriage. I've been with the same Speakers Bureau for like 4 decades. I believe in stability. The same agents, the Montag Group, Sue Lipton. I believe in stability. Work with Belton, Kim Belton, our producer. He and I go back 50 years. 50 years. I tried to recruit him.
Way better than you.
I tried to recruit him. Had no chance.
Davion Mitchell, he's rejected. And a chance on a run out for Kyler Edwards. But he turns it right back over. A couple of opportunities here in the last minute and a half for Texas Tech, and they've made some crucial mistakes that have taken away any chance they probably had to come from behind and give Baylor a push.
Well, that's a young team there, too, because really they got a lot of young guys. When I say young, even the transfers are young to their system. But they've really done a great job in these last 72 hours beating Texas and played this game right down to the last 3 minutes. Was anybody's basketball game right now, certainly with 26 seconds to go. You got a scoop, my man. Mr. Wischusen, you got a major scoop if Baylor were to lose this basketball game.
Yeah. They're just so fundamentally sound, and it's almost hard to think that any team could score 7 points against them in 25 seconds because they're that good defensively.
I want to get away from this for one moment. I want to ask you, because you're a football guy. I'm a nervous wreck about tomorrow as we look here. Both teams ranked in the top 5. People can read this stuff. 4 straight road wins. Kansas versus top 5 teams. Baylor 19-1. Last 20 home games. That's all there for you to see. That's Monday night. Dan and Jay will be on the call. That should be a great, great game. But let me ask you this. You're a football guy. I'm a nervous wreck. You know, I've been a season ticket holder for years with the Bucks. And tomorrow is probably the biggest game the Bucks have been playing in I don't know how many years. Maybe 15 years, 12 years, whatever, since they won the Super Bowl. Any chance down there with the Saints, man? Come on, because the Saints blew us out twice.
No, Saints are winning that game.
Oh, come on now. Give me some hope. I'm going to go pray tomorrow. I'm going to church early, go to Mass, and I'm going to have on St. Jude, the miracle worker. That's at St. Jude. Let Brady have one of the greatest games of his life. Let Mr. Godwin and Mr. Fournette and let our defense shut them down.
Chama Chachua with an exclamation point. Yeah, the Saints that you pray to tomorrow are probably going to favor the Saints in the game against the Bucks. McClung knocks down a 3 and a quick foul given by Avery Benson. As
Well,
he
you
will
and I
put
gotta go.
Flagler at the line.
We're going to go for a dinner. I'm going to say dinner. I got upset city. I got my Bucks winning that game. And you're going to
You've got
take
Tom
me to
Brady
dinner.
at quarterback. I mean, how big of an upset could it be if they won?
Oh, it's still an upset. Come on, you're playing down in New Orleans, playing a team that beat you twice convincingly.
And Dick,
I mean,
don't tell anybody that spent the last 20 years rooting for the Jets that when Tom Brady wins a playoff game, it's an upset. We don't want to hear it. That's somebody else's problem now.
He's been great, by the way. Oh, my God, what he's done here. Over 4,600 yards, over 40 touchdowns. I mean, just it brings a special winner's culture to the locker room. All right, my friend, Baylor's going to march on.
And sets up the matchup on Big Monday with Kansas. Although T.J. Shannon, or rather Kyler Edwards, will have a chance at an old-fashioned three-point play with a little under 15 seconds to go.
Oh, I can't believe he fouled him right there. See, that's been the quietness of Shannon. See, I thought Shannon was going to have a big game here. He and Edwards had to really elevate their game in this one. They needed an A game out of those guys, and unfortunately, and both are very good players. And both are going to have success, there's no doubt about it. Texas Tech is going to win a lot of games.
Yes. That'll foul out Jared Butler, by the way. That's his fifth.
Well, if Dean Smith, you think about some of the miracle wins he's had on that sideline, you know, he makes this, you're down to 5, and just ask Duke about North Carolina one year when they played with Dean, and he pulled out that miracle win in the last 20 seconds of the game. You know, I think of Chris Beard, I was just thinking about this, Bob. You know, what does he learn in a situation like this? I think what he's learned is he's got a bunch of tough kids. They're physical, they're tough. They really play hard as a team, and they just got to understand what a good shot is a little bit more and how to move the ball a little bit more to get a better shot. I think once they get that down, and that comes with rhythm, comes with timing and familiarity, being comfortable.
Well, it is the culture that he has built. So being comfortable gets you beat every time. You see it all the time in sports. It takes a special person. They use the word elite to remain uncomfortable. If we stay uncomfortable, we'll be where we need to be. And if you go to a Texas Tech practice, I mean, I've gone to a bunch of them over the last several years covering the Big 12. They drill the fundamentals. They are about strength and conditioning. It is a real buy-in among the players that he recruits, that he asks them to have to understand what you're signing up for to play for Texas Tech.
Well, you know, I'm not shocked by that at all. Number one, Coach under Bob Knight, who's one of the great fundamentalists in the game. It's all over. Baylor marches on. A win. Now they got to get ready for the Jayhawks.
Only the first time this year Baylor has been held to a single-digit win, but they're still 12-0 as they beat Texas Tech 68-60. For Dick Vitale and our entire crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. Time for Virginia Clemson with Dave O'Brien and Corey Alexander.